Okay.
Hello, everybody. Today, my topic is on cancel culture in the US college campuses. This is a picture from Pepperdine Graphic. It's on Pepperdine Freedom Wall. The Pepperdine College Republicans posted this as an advocate for pro-life movement. There are crosses and a big poster. Later, the posters were covered, and crosses were taken down by angry students who believe they have the right to do so because they are, I quote, upset. And that's not the only case of trying to silence other people's opinions in US college campus. According to New York Times, MIT canceled a famous geophysicist, Doran Abbott's lecture because of his stance on affirmative action. Wellesley almost canceled Kristen Hawking's speech on pro-life due to student protests. Luckily, the school official affirmed freedom of speech and allowed her to come speak. These cases of boycotting and silencing are appearing more and more frequent in US college campuses. So that's what I'm talking about today. Cancel culture, freedom of speech, how to preserve and promote an environment with freedom of speech. So we can probably all agree that freedom of speech is good. Just in case you weren't convinced enough, there's a few more reasons why. It encourages dispersion of excellent information. It encourages the generation of new idea, and it helps the public check the government to avoid corruption. But what's cancel culture? According to Clark Morettis, cancel culture is a new set of moral attitudes and political commitments that tend to weaken our norms of open debate and toleration of differences in favor of ideological conformity. Since cancel culture is in favor of conformity and it discourages the generation of new and especially unpopular ideas, and if one dares to say them in public, they will ostracize and cancel you. It hurts freedom of speech. All things have two sides, and cancel culture has supporters. Some people believe that cancel culture allows for minority groups to voice their opinions via means of canceling other people who they disagree with. However, nowadays, there are various other ways to voice one's opinions, such as through social media. There are other people that believe that cancel culture can keep those who are famous, powerful, rich, speech in check, and raise morality. However, speaking one's mind does not reduce morality. Stopping other people from doing so does, and no one has power to limit other people's freedom of speech. So, we just concluded that freedom of speech is good. And college is a place that nurtures future leaders of this country. Therefore, cancel culture hurts freedom of speech, and I ask that we stop cancel culture. So, how will we do so? Let's start from ourselves. According to BBC, the most straightforward way is to set your goal to correct a specific wrong. When you think about it, when one cancels other people, what he or she is doing is trying to silence them and stop them from voicing their opinion, rather than actually trying to solve the problem that they're raising. If we set our goal to be to right a specific wrong, then the only logical option is to have friendly debate or civil conversation with the party that we disagree with. And from doing so, we are correcting a wrong and not trying to silence others and taking away their freedom of speech. So, what would happen if we successfully stop cancel culture? According to an article on ProQuest, a Duke University's professor tried to cancel culture in his classroom. So before the semester started, he gave a handout of anonymous help and it showed that 68% of the students are self-silencing due to peer pressure and their fear of being ostracized. And on the first day of the lecture, he said that in this classroom, no one can police other students, and no one can silence any other. So they maintain a semester of conversational friendly classroom. And at the end of the semester, students report to him that they made new unlikely friendship, and their previous friends in their friendship due to political tensions melted. What would happen if cancel culture parties continued to strive in the United States college campus? Well, perhaps the article from Stephen H. Hayward, a professor at Berkeley, best predicts the outcome. At Berkeley, the professor was fired because students reported that in his class there are texts by Mark Twain that are offensive. Yes, Mark Twain, offensive. And when he said that, it's meant to be a little upsetting that students face. And students were afraid to talk with each other or having friendly debate because they feared that they might share unpopular opinions and they might be ostracized or canceled. Do we want this? Probably not. If we let cancel culture to strive, then United States college campus will be a place where we can only say popular opinions and not actually what we think. We're human. We're not a tape that's recorded to say the same thing again and again and again. So, in conclusion, freedom of speech is good, and cancel culture hurts freedom of speech in a place where freedom of speech should especially be valued since it nurtures future leaders of the country. My call to action is very simple. I printed this out. It says, stop cancel culture, and I will pin it on the freedom wall of Pepperdine. I ask everybody to print something that you care about, any topic. It can be big and it can be small. It can be, I want better food at Wayfair Cafe. Or it can be something like pro-life, pro-choice, war and peace, anything. As long as it's what you care about. Please print it and post it on Freedom Wall. Let's preserve freedom of speech starting from Pepperdine. I want to conclude my speech with my favorite quote. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Thank you.